If your shoulder's been bothering you for a long period of time, chances are it didn't come from one thing. It came from things repeated, stacked over time, much like the straw on the camel's back. So today I'm going to teach you 3 of the biggest mistakes that often come up and 3 things that I often see when people are challenged with their shoulder. Hi, I'm Dr. Matt Bradbury, Family Corrective Chiropractor, and here we are at One Life Family Chiropractic here in Georgetown, Ontario, Canada. If you're just joining us today, I love having you. We're going to be talking about the shoulder today and 3 of the often biggest mistakes that I see that keep people stuck in discomfort. So if you're enjoying this, take a moment, make sure you subscribe. I enjoy having you. Like it, and make sure that the message gets out so that we can interact some more and have some more fun. To help put things in perspective for you, remember that the shoulder is one of the most mobile joints in the body. And guess what? It's often not just about fixing weakness. It's often about addressing above stream, downstream, and addressing stiffness elsewhere. Because many times, if you have a challenged shoulder, there is compensation above and below the problem. And as I mentioned earlier, much of the times, it's what we do repeatedly that's going to make the difference. So we're going to have to start making some small changes right now to help you overcome this challenge. Mistake number 1 is trying to lift through poor shoulder mechanics. And what I mean is your shoulders are high, mechanically things are stuck, and guess what? You're not able to get your arm in a great position. So you thinking that things are just going to warm up on their own is a mistake that's easy to make. You have to really start with some simple warm-ups. And for that, what I'm going to suggest, and one thing that I really enjoy, is just getting the soft tissue ball just like this. And I'm going to show you on some areas that are common that I find myself work well, that you're going to start working on and addressing today. First things first, as you get the ball out, remember, you can approach this in such a way that giving yourself some relative rest. Make sure you actually warm up. Go through with the lighter weights, maybe just a bar, especially if you like to lift and enjoy moving. So some things to start with, the relative rest is key. If you have to reduce the load slightly, consider that. You're not stopping altogether, you're just giving yourself some relative rest. And then as you progress things, as you're using the bar to warm up and get moving, when you're grabbing this ball, what you're actually going to do is start with this area and this area through here. And how it works, I'm going to show you. So when you're working on those areas between your shoulder blade and your spine, what I want you to do is just hang out and breathe. And I'm going to give myself a thumbs up, and then I'm going to turn my thumbs down and reach across my body to my opposite pocket. And then I'm going to come up just like this. And you'll notice with this one, we went from shorten position of the muscles and then to lengthen. You may do this 7 to 10 times, but what you're doing is breathing. When it gets a little bit easier, you can move up or down or move on to the next area. And what I'm going to do for the front is, remember, all these connections here often get stiff, tight, and sometimes shortened, especially if you're doing one of these, like many of us, working at the desk, sitting hunched, dealing with gravity. So what you're going to do is grab the ball just like this, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to put some pressure onto it, and what I'm going to do is actually open up, thumbs up, and let my arm come down and turn my thumb in. Go thumbs up, and then turn my thumb down and come in. With this, you're probably going to find some tender points through here. I want you to work, again, in that 6 to 10, 7 to 10 range of doing some passes. When it gets a little bit easier, you can move the ball around and target different areas to help loosen you up. Remember, it's all about helping get your shoulder going through a range of motion, especially if your shoulder mechanics are poor and you're making that first mistake. The number 2 mistake is ignoring rotator cuff and scapular muscle endurance. And what happens is we often get used to training the big muscles and forget to do that small muscle work. And those small muscles require more of endurance training. So 10 to 20 reps. First one's going to be my favorite. It's just going to be the infinities and number 8s. And what you're going to do is anchor a band. You're going to put it at about chest level. And what's going to happen is you're going to draw the number 8. You can do it 10 to 20 times. And you can also draw the infinity sign 10 to 20 times. The whole time you're working on keeping your shoulder slightly back, engaged, not letting yourself slouch, but you're hanging out there for at least 2 to 3 sets of the 8s and the infinity signs. Great way to warm up, great way to do something if you want to build some endurance in those scapular retractors as well as those rotator cuff muscles. Another really simple cue that I love using, especially at the desk and recommend, is actually taking your thumb just like this to help build some endurance and give yourself some cues as to what the muscles should be doing. So I'm thinking about your shoulder blades on your back, doing one of these, coming down, retracting, and depressing. So your thumbs are going to be just like this. I'm going to pause for 5 seconds and then relax. I'm going to pause for 5 seconds and then relax. You're gonna do that at least 5 times to help really train, well, your scapular muscles that depress and retract and get those muscles engaged, because oftentimes what are we doing? One of these. Mistake number 3, skipping thoracic spine mobility. Some of the simplest things you can do for yourself. You've seen me mention it before. Just get this thing out, and what you're gonna do is just lay on your back. Remember, a lot of those motions, a lot of getting your arm in this position to move overhead also involves some thoracic extension. So what you're gonna do is just jump on this. I'm gonna show you how. So when you're here, you're just breathing, arms up, especially if you've been practicing, well, sitting at a desk, arms up just like this, and I'll do 5 to 10 passes back and forth. If you find a spot that's tender, focus on breathing, hanging out there until it gets a little bit easier. Great way to work on your thoracic mobility. The other thing I want to show you is just come down on all fours like this, and what you're going to do is put your hand on the back of your head. I'm going to reach my elbow down, and then I'm going to open up. This one, I'm going to focus on that range of 10 to 15 reps. On each side, you may find one side you're a little bit more stiff on. Focus on breathing, and those 10 to 15 reps to help open up your thoracic spine. And of course, you probably guessed it, one of the things that I want you to work on as well with your thoracic mobility is your neck mobility. So give me a thumbs up just like this, and you're gonna practice this multiple times a day using your eyes to push your neck just a little bit further into rotation and extension. So 5 to 6 times like this, and all the while you're working on your thoracic, shoulder, and neck mobility. That's a really great one. Make sure you add that in every single day. So as we wrap up, remember some key points. Shoulder pain isn't necessarily fixed by pushing through or just stretching. You gotta start working on it consistently over time. You'll notice some of the soft tissue work, rebuilding the endurance of those rotator cuff muscles, and doing some fine tuning to help your body move better. And you'll notice people may have shoulder challenges, but guess what controls how your body works and functions? The nerves. As a corrective chiropractor, we wanna know about proper structure and function of your spine and your nervous system, because those nerves control the muscles, organs, and help with how you heal. And if your spine's stuck and the nerves are irritated, that's exactly what we're looking for. Some of these areas may be talking to you, you may notice it, and some of the areas you may have no idea about until they're tested and we discover what's going on the inside. And that's why it's so important to get checked to know what's going on with your spine and nervous system health. Anyways, I will leave you to that today. Consider the big picture and helping you get back on track. And of course, if you enjoyed this, I love having you. Make sure you subscribed and like this video. And if you really enjoyed it and you want to help somebody out, take a moment, because I can't do it alone. I got a big mission, helping people understand their health, more function, better spinal health is vitally important. Can't do it alone. Take a moment, share it. Somebody you think would benefit, share it to your feed so they can get some benefit too. Anyways, hope you're doing well out there. And remember, you're far stronger, more resilient, and resourceful than you may have been led to believe. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.